This is Hollywood. Matías Bombal with you. Universal Pictures and Studio Canal bring us Legend, writer-director Brian Higelin's new picture about the notorious Kray brothers of London's East End of the 1960s. It's fitting that a movie studio that once used to boast that a good cast is worth repeating, in fact repeats the star of this movie, Tom Hardy, in a very clever way. He plays both brothers, the tough and powerful Reggie and the exceedingly violent, mentally unstable Ronnie. This bit of movie magic is seamless in its execution. One of my favorite young actors of today is Taron Egerton, who you may remember from Kingsman: The Secret Service. He plays Edward Mad Teddy Smith in the movie, Ronnie Kray's henchman and lover. Here he tells us what it was like to watch Tom Hardy be two people.
Tom plays Ron Kray, who the vast majority of my material is with, but he also plays Reggie Kray, his brother. And it has been really, 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 really incredible watching that come to life and take shape, both in terms of what they're achieving with camera use and the cinematography of it, but also Tom and how he's managing to build a fraternal relationship with himself. It's incredible. So they'll film one side of the conversation, sometimes using split screen, for example, where they'll film say Reggie on one side, and then he'll then sort of swap around to the other side of the screen, different makeup, and film as Ron, with Reggie's dialogue being played out to him in his ear. And what he's then able to do, I mean, it must take so much work beforehand, and he must know the script inside out, is he's able to interrupt himself, play off reactions, plan little minute reactions, and all without, because acting is all about give and take, really, and he's managing to achieve that completely on his own. It really is quite incredible and quite wonderful to watch.
I agree with Mr. Egerton. Hardy, who is a fantastic force of nature in acting, gives us two different men in his portrayals with subtle nuance in each. This view of the crime underbelly of London's East End and the attempts at the brothers Kray to gain new territory is stylishly told, beautifully produced with rich detail, and mesmerizing to watch. Oh yes, quite violent, and in an East End accent. The cast includes wonderful David Thewlis as Leslie Payne, the brothers' business manager. Emily Browning is winsome as Reggie's sweetheart, Frances Shea, and in a happy return to the screen, Chaz Palminteri, who has recently only been making about a picture a year. Palminteri adds memorable moments in each of the movies that he's in, and here as Angelo Bruno, you can bet and win that he's part of the U.S. mob making overseas overtures. The Krays had fires on many stoves: intimidation, protection, robbery, extortion. To the public, they were in the limelight just as nightclub owners. Just as had happened in Harlem in the 1930s, the upper classes enjoyed a thrilling night out in the company of gangsters, and going slumming in the East and South End of London provided that adventure. These gangs mapped out territories throughout London. When those lines were crossed, trouble happened. As this shot opens, it is Reggie Kray which approaches the camera first, with Ronnie walking behind him.
Yeah, mate, can I get 2 Guinnesses, please?
Yeah, hang on a second. Just got to go down and change the barrel.
Reg, Ron, the Richardsons were unexpectedly engaged, so we're going to look after you.
Oh, it's all right. Our landlord's going to change the barrel for me, thanks. You don't mind if I pour myself a pint, yeah?
What is that?
Yeah, what do you think, Puff? It's a fucking tool.
No, it's not. It's a fucking rolling pin. Who are you, Fanny Craddock? What are you do with that? You gonna bake me a cake? You gonna sing me a song, watch me blow out me fucking candles? I come here for a fucking shootout, right? A proper shootout with some proper men. Like Colonel Custer and Geronimo. Have you ever heard of them? No. Because you were too busy in your pinny baking fucking fairy cakes, weren't you? Rich, this lot of fucking nonsense to a man. They're fucking nonsense. Get out me fucking way. Go on, get up. Go on, fuck off. Call yourself a fucking gangster. A shootout, right, is a fucking shootout! like a western. Wankers. Fucking embarrassing. Waste of our time. Fucking waste of our time.
Oh, your brother's done a runner.
Nah, he's just genuinely disappointed with it, that's all.
Tom Hardy there as both of the Kray brothers. I'm not a fan of violent movies, but must admit there is something that intrigues me about movies about gangsters. We've had movies about Italian mobsters almost as long as there have been movies. Pictures about British gangsters are certainly less common in the United States, but enough have been made that one could debate which are the best 25. Titles that come to mind include McVicker with Roger Daltrey, Brighton Rock, Alan Clark's Scum of 1979, Get Carter and the Italian Job with Michael Caine, and would you believe it, Peter Medak's 1990 movie, The Krays, covering the very same subject as this new picture. You'll find an excellent array of period pop recordings in the soundtrack to set the era in your mind. You don't often hear many vintage pop hits and period films these days, as the licensing of the original recordings may climb as high as half of the cost of the production itself. For the original orchestral score in the picture, Carter Burwell has created a seamless mood and music that does not draw attention to itself, which of course makes it perfect. This is clearly a violent movie, and if that may bother you, you may wish to consider carefully before going to see it. The performances of Tom Hardy are fascinating to watch. Of each, I think I like the loose cannon Ronnie Kray performance more than that of his dapper Reggie performance. You'll have to see this yourself to decide which you like the best. The MPAA has given this an appropriate R rating. This is your pal, Matías Bombal, bidding you a fond farewell.